everyone, this is Stephanie. I go by StampJG here on YouTube and at my blog at stampjg.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have a really cute, fairly quick project to use with your We Are Memory Keepers bookbinding guide. As you know, I'm a big fan of this, and it makes making booklets really easy and pretty fast. In addition to the bookbinding guide and the toolkit, you're going to need some paper for the filler, and I have taken some green pastel colored copy paper and I've run it through my printer to make lines on it. And this is just regular 8.5 by 11. I'm going to be cutting it down. And the fun part about this is that today I'm using printed felt. I found this really cute sheet of printed felt at Hobby Lobby, and I am going to use it to make my notebook cover. Now, I would normally do it this way, but then my cactus are going sideways. So we're going to do a short, skinny notebook cover. I'm thinking the felt will be kind of durable for a cover, so this could be kind of fun. So I'm going to cut this down, and I'll come back with the dimensions and we'll bind up a cute little notebook. Okay, I'm back. I have cut down my paper in half, so 8.5 by 11 paper is now 8.5 by 5.5, and when I fold it over in the middle, it is going to be 4.25 this way by 5.5 this way. My felt sheet actually is fairly thin. You can tell it's a printed sheet. It's almost like paper. It's you know, got fiber in it, so it's not. So I was able to cut this pretty easily on my paper trimmer. And what I decided to do with this is try to make a little bit of a pocket. So here's my line, and I think I'm going to fold it just a little bit longer than this. And then this will help me be able to create a pocket for my little book here. Now let me make sure my paper still fits. Yep, that's going to fit fine. We have just a little bit of overhang. So this is going to be my little cover. Okay guys, I'm going a little bit on by the seat of my pants right here, so hopefully this works because I only have one sheet. I'm going to try to deal with the bulk at the seam, or at the fold, is cut a diagonal, or cut some of this out maybe. You know what? Instead of pinning it, let me unpin it and measure the middle. I want to try, measure down, let's go 2.5 inches. That's from here. Okay, and that took almost all the bulk out except for a little bit here, and I'm just going to go ahead and trim that. And be my inside. And I'm going to go ahead and score these. So I have my cover, and I have some stacks of green paper, and I'm going to have the We Are Memory Keepers bookbinding guide. And I'm using it horizontally right now because it's easier for it to fit into the camera. Normally I would work with it up and down. And now I've got a scrap of paper that is the exact size of my inserts. So I can kind of determine where I want my holes. Hole is onto the paper, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 22 holes. What I'm going to do in that case is I'm going to discount this. I'm going to pretend like this hole is not here. So that means the middle of my project is going to be 11 holes. I'm going to do 3 stitches. Pick 2 holes up from the bottom and 2 holes in from the top, or in from each side. This is one hole, this is my middle hole, and this is my top of my page hole. Do one more between these. I've picked the holes that I want to put into my project, and I've marked them on the guideline with a Sharpie. Again, a Sharpie will remove with hand sanitizer or an alcohol swab. And we are ready to punch holes. I'm going to punch holes into the cover first, and I want to make sure I get the score line into the guide. And of course it's going to be a little bit thicker than working with a stack of paper. And I'm going to go by, let me move this in a little bit. On my guide you can see where I've made marks with the Sharpie of where I'm going to put my holes. I know that's in the middle. And my last hole is down here. I'm going to take a stack of my paper. I'm going to move it all the way to one side of my guide. I'm going to screw in the little guide pieces, and then I'm just going to follow my holes that I marked with the Sharpie. And it's just that easy. This part takes no time. Now I know that this is going to be the top, and then when I swing it over here to my pile, I'm going to make sure it's up at the top so that it will line up with the holes of the stack that I did prior. Got one last little batch here. So here we have the punched inserts all lined up. That when you fold paper, the edges stick out. So before I go sew this up, I am going to cut about 1/8 of an inch off most of these pages, especially the ones in the middle, and then I'm going to do just a smidge off the other ones. And that's just because I like my edges to be relatively flat or relatively flush, and I don't prefer, you know, to put it down on my workspace and try to cut it with a knife because I mess it up every single time. So I'm going to go cut off about 1/8 of an inch from most of the middle pieces, and then just a little off on here, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and you can see now that the edge of my paper, while not perfect, is much more flush than it was before, and we're ready to bind it up. So I'm going to fold up the bottom of my pocket, and I'm going to put the top of my inserts into the top here and fold it over to make sure my edges match. Now I'm going to need, okay, I have clipped the book together, and we are going to start stitching from the inside in the middle because this is where I want my knot to be. So wherever you start is where you're going to make your knot. So you start from, I'm starting from the inside, moving to the outside, And I'm going to leave a decent sized tail. And I could washi it down. I think I'll just try holding it with my hand for now. And then I'll just move to whatever hole I want to in the next direction. You can go top or bottom, it does not matter. And then I'm going to go down through the next hole. I can pull pretty firmly. And from here, I've reached the end of where I can go, so I'm going to go back towards the middle. And when I come through this hole, I want to make sure I do not split the stitch that's already there. And I'm going to pull pretty firmly. And I'm not going to go back through the middle hole. I'm going to bypass the middle hole and go to the next hole. We will come back and tie off at the middle. I'm going to pull pretty firmly, and from here I go just to the next hole. I think the pamphlet stitch is one of the easiest to do, and it has a good look to it. I need to lengthen my thread. So I've reached the bottom and I just go back in the next direction. Careful not to split the stitch that's already in the hole. And now I'm going to come up through the middle. Again, not splitting the stitch that's already there. And what I want to do here is I want to come up on the opposite side of the middle thread is where this tail is. So when I come up, I want to come up on this side where my thumb is. If I can go in the hole here. Oh, I'm splitting that stitch. Let's hold on to that thread and come up on the opposite side of the thread. Pull firmly, and I can get rid of my needle. And now this is where I'm going to pull and tie a knot. And just to make sure it's secure, I'm going to tie another knot. I'll pull it in opposite directions here and cut the tails. I'm just going to kind of leave it in the middle like that. So my book is almost done. As you can see, I've got this great cover, and I open it up and I have this neat little notepad. Now what I can do with these little areas to use as pockets is I can stitch them if I wanted to. I could staple them. I might just glue them down. Let's use a little bit of this 1/8 inch tape close to the edge as possible. May not, yep, there it comes. We'll do the same on this side. There, and I'm going to press that firmly. You can see it's very flexible. It could probably hold a bunch more paper in it. But there we have a cute little pocket notebook. Put some cute clips and things in here. And if I wanted, you could actually put a little paper clip around the edge or something, or put a band around it. And there we have it, an adorable little notebook to keep in my purse for the month of March, for notes and things. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. It's just a quick little tutorial to give you an idea of some of the things that you can make with the We Are Memory Keepers bookbinding guide. And I hope that you will leave comments and like and subscribe if you would like. I will leave a link up here in the cards to the detailed review I've done for the We Are Memory Keepers bookbinding guide, and I will leave a link down in the description to that and a couple of the other projects that we've done. If you have any other ideas for this tool or other tools that you'd like to see in action, please feel free to leave a comment and I will get to just as many as I can. Thanks for coming along today. Bye.